Hi everyone, what we're doing today is just modeling how to do a quadratic regression using your IT-Nspire software on your calculator. And it's looking at your assignment, so you'll need your bridge, you'll need the dimensions of your bridge. Here's my lovely bridge, it's 100 meters wide and 60 meters tall. So the first thing we need to do is go into your software. We want to add a graph, insert image, and then you'll need to find the TNS file that I sent you, and you can just open that up in the file, open document, and then you go find the TNS file. That should look something like this, and you'll have a picture of your bridge. What we need to do first of all is adjust the window settings so that we can see all of the bridge within those dimensions. So if my bridge is 100 meters wide, I need 50 in the positive direction on the x-axis, 50 in the negative direction, and then 60 in the positive y. So if we go back here, we want to go up to menu, window zoom, window settings. So let's make our x minimum negative 60. So we want to go a bit larger than our bridge. Positive, the y minimum can stay, let's make that negative 10, just so everything's nice round figures. And y maximum, if my bridge was 60 meters high, let's make it a bit bigger, so we'll go up to y maximum of 70. We then hit OK. From there we want to plot our points. So if my bridge is 100 meters wide, then the value of this coordinate over there is going to be 50, 0, and on the left it's going to be negative 50, 0, because that means it's 100 with the y-axis being my axis of symmetry. So we go option 8, geometry, points and lines, point, and then we want to go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Put a point on there, negative 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And then we want to go up to 60, which is just here. Then we click on escape. And what we want to do now is we just want to click here and we can start moving our axes around. And if I actually click down here on my axes, I can start to adjust the width of my axes. And what I want to try and do is match it up so that those 2 points that I've put on fall on the edge of my archway for my bridge. So we just move it until we can get it centered, and that's pretty close there. And what you want to do as well, for me this is lined up fairly perfectly, but then you might need to go and just double click on that y maximum value, and then you might just need to tinker with that a bit, so 75, just to change it so that my point at the top sits at the top of my image of my bridge. From there, what I want to do is I just want to add a few more points. So if we add maybe 3 more points to each side, you don't want to do too many, but we do need a couple just to help us with our regression analysis. So we go point, and then we just add, try and get it as close as you can. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So now I've got a range of points which will hopefully help me to put in a regression analysis for my graph. Okay, so the next step is we actually want to label those coordinates to find out what they are. So we go menu, actions, coordinates and equations, and what you'll need to do now is you just click on whichever point you want to find the coordinate of, and then you'll need to do a second click, and the second click places that set of coordinates. So just pop it somewhere where it's easy to see. Okay, so now we'll do another point. So we go menu, geometry, menu, actions, coordinates, choose your point, your second value clicks it. Alright, so do you want to go ahead and do all those others now? Alright, so once you've got all your points there, what you want to do is you just want to go into Excel, or you can do it in your exercise book, it doesn't matter. You've got your x-axis, which is your distance, and your y-axis, which is your height, and then you just start. So we've got negative 50, 0, negative 48.7, and 18.3, negative 35.5, and 45.1. So I'm just going through my points from left to right, and I'm adding all of those in to my table over here. So just go now and finish off that. Alright, so now I've got all of those values entered. What I want to do is I just want to create a new spreadsheet. So just go new page. Oh, let's get out of that. New page, add a spreadsheet. Up here you want to go distance, which we know is our x value, and then height, which is our y value. And we can just copy that from Excel and paste it, or maybe we can't. Paste, and in it goes there. From that point we've got our distance and our height, and we want to do a regression, so we just go menu, statistics, stat calculations, and we want to do a quadratic regression. So our x is going to be our distance, our y is going to be our height. We don't have a frequency, so then we're just going to go OK, and it's just popped it in there. Now what I would do is I would copy that and I will paste it into Excel. I personally like to do that because it just makes it a bit easier to read. So what you've got here is you've got your regression, which is ax squared plus bx plus c. And this is the a value, this is the b value, and this is the c value. Alright, so once we've got those values for a, b, and c for our regression, we just go back to our IT-Nspire software to our graph here. And then all we want to do is we just want to graph that. So we go graph function, and we'll have y equals, oh, we've already got y, equals, and we've got negative 0.0215 x squared plus 0.028389 x plus 64.88405. Once we've done that, we press enter, and then that graphs our quadratic function, and it gives us a regression line that represents the archway of the bridge. Now it's unlikely that yours will be perfect, and that's what this assignment's about. It's just about finding out, well, is it an appropriate model? And you'll be able to discuss the strengths and limitations. Like you can see at this point up here, it's fairly close, and also down here it's fairly close to the actual bridge. But then for this section between negative 48 and negative 14 for x, it's just not quite right, it's a little bit off. What you'll then do is you'll do your manual regression, and you'll graph that as well, and it will give you another quadratic function. And once you've got that second quadratic function, you'll graph it, and then you'll compare the two. Alright, so I've just worked out my manual regression there with my A, B, C values. So if I go menu, graph, we'll graph a second function, and it will be negative 0.024x squared plus 60. And my value for B is nothing, so it's got it there. And then that gives you your second regression line. As you can see, it goes through my 3 points, and then I'll need to do an analysis to compare those two. Alright, good luck.